Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.
We are the nation of domination.
What is up? What is up, Eagles Nation? How is everybody doing today? Welcome to another show of State of the Eagles with your boy BG31 in the Dark Knight in the building. How you doing today, my guy?
I'm great, man, on this holiday weekend, man. Like the Memorial Day weekend. Just give a shout out to all the veterans who have given their lives on behalf of us to be able to live the way we live. We like to remember them always. So shout out to all the veterans that have and the families of those that have lost their lives, giving their life for the country.
Yeah, shout out to all you veterans. I'm so happy that somebody wanted to do it because they tried to get BG and BG wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going out there, nobody's war, nothing. But I am, saluting to all you guys that do put your lives on the line for this country. It's a beautiful thing out there. So, we back again. We're going to talk some Eagles football. We got some top 10 lists we want to talk about, some things. I want to know, do you guys think do the Eagles have the most top 10 players, like position by position, out of any team in the league? How do you feel about that
one? Out of every position?
Like if you add up all the top 10 players at each position, so we go guard, tackle, we got a player that's top 10 in like all those, all the positions type thing compared to other teams out there.
Yeah, I think we would be up there. We should be up there. Top 10 of all time?
No. Just going into this season.
Top 10. Oh, time. Yeah, definitely. This year.
Position by position.
Oh, yeah. Position by position. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Yes. Yeah, because I think, man, it's gonna be hard.
We got quarterback, receivers, the offensive line. Yeah, I mean on offense. Yeah, I mean what? Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Let's talk about this list. I know everybody's just that time of year, everybody's making their list, and BG made a couple lists here too. And you can correct me, we can debate where you think you change or not here. But I went top 10 quarterbacks, you guys, and this is what I came up with. I got top 10 quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts number 1, Patty Mahomes number 2. We got Joe Burrow number 3, Josh Allen number 4. We got Aaron Rodgers number 5, Geno Smith number 6, Dak Prescott number 7, Tua 8, Herbert 9, and Goff 10. How you like that list, and what would you change?
I definitely probably put Lamar up there. Who will he take? Who place will he take? Put the list back up. Let me see.
Oh, and that's just going into this season too, so it's not overall careers.
Yeah, all right. Going in this season, I still would have probably I would still probably have Lamar Jackson. And who would I take off though? That's the big question. Ooh.
I guess
maybe the last one, Jared Goff. Even though he had a great year last year, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Him or Geno, one of the two, or Dak, one of the three. It would be between Geno, Dak, and Goff. I would put Lamar Jackson in the place of one of those three. I just can't, because to me they're all around the same level to me. Like they're interchangeable. I know that, you know what I mean, they're interchangeable to me. So I would put him above one of those three.
One of those three. So you say he'd be in the bottom half of the
bottom
top 10.
half, yeah. I would say, yeah, the second 5.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people like, hey, Jalen not better than Patty. Come on now. It's like, I know that is an argument, I was prepared for. I've heard a lot, why do you think Jalen's better? But I just think going into this season, overall, for me, football player, I think Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback going into this season. So, and I'm not saying it's not 1A, 1B. Patty Mahomes could be 1B, and then we go straight to 3 as opposed to 2, 1, 2. But I can see your argument on both ways. Patty got a couple of championships and a couple of MVPs. He's that man. But I don't know. I just feel like Jalen Hurts is about to be that next level quarterback that everybody's gonna get to see. So that's why I got Jalen up there number 1. For those who want to argue that, that's fine. It's my list. It's my opinion. Y'all can put whoever you want up top. How would you do it?
All right, for those that are following, put your top 5 up there and see how different it is from BG's top 5. Let me see.
Give me your top 5 quarterbacks. Yes, let's put that in the chat and let's see. Yeah, like you said, how much different it'll be. Let's go to receivers. This one will be fun. This receivers, I got Avonte Adams, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Stephen Diggs, Devontae Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Cooper Kupp. How you like that one?
That's impressive. I like that. I like that list. I like the top 5. I think the top 5 is accurate. I think the top 5 is accurate. Some people are probably going to I think Devontae is a top 10. Some people might argue that, but
I think he is for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody might argue that, but I definitely agree with the top 5.
Would you take out anybody and add anybody?
Let me see. No, that's a pretty solid list.
Let me do this.
That's a pretty solid list. You might can make some cases for, maybe the next tier or whatever, like Waddle he's a good receiver. Who else? These are basically top receivers in the league. Let me see. You guys who may disagree out there. Somebody got Mahomes going back to the quarterback. Somebody listed Mahomes, Burrow, Hurts, Allen, Rodgers. So they got us behind. It got Hurts behind Burrow. Nah, I can't. I don't think you could say that after the year he just had. Are you kidding me? I can't say it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Burrow's been to a Super Bowl and lost, and so has Jalen Hurts been to a Super Bowl and lost. And he's done it more dynamically. He was more of an offense than Burrow was. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, Jalen is a big part. Even with all the talent he has around him, he's still the main cog in that offense, as you can see when he didn't play. I mean, like Burrow, he's their quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't account for as much of the offense that Jalen does with his arm and his leg. Jalen is a big part of that offense, and it doesn't run specifically smooth when he's not in there. It's quite obvious. So I wouldn't. You may have an argument about who's number one, the Patty Mahomes and Jalen. It might be a little bit
might be a little biased in that. A little
might
bit.
be a little biased on that one,
Biased.
but not with Burrow. I don't think. Not with Burrow.
Yeah.
I think he's clearly behind Jalen after this past year.
And then for receivers, did you have it? You said, did you have some in there that you would change up that I'm missing?
Not really. Waddle. I like Waddle a lot. But no, I think that's a solid top 10. You guys out there want to challenge that one? The top 5, I definitely think is spot on. I probably wouldn't change any of the top 5. But yeah.
Top 10.
Aaron says, I want Jalen to be number 1, but trying to be objective. Think he'll progress again this year. Yeah, he's going to progress again this year because he has that Mamba mentality. Jalen is, as much as you've seen from Jalen last year, expect to see an improvement, further improvement from last year to this year. Just like we saw from his first year starting to last year. Jalen's got that Mamba mentality. He's not satisfied with what happened last year, and most people would. I mean, come on, he had a near MVP season, nearly won the Super Bowl and had he done that, he would have won the MVP there. So the rise or the step he's taken to most average quarterbacks, they could probably rest their whole career on that, without going any further. But Jalen's not that guy. He's looking to get better. Last year was not good enough for him. So he's going to be better this year. So if you don't give him the nod this year, last year, then wait till this year. If he hasn't proven it to you last year, he's going to prove it this year.
This guy right here is going to get that MVP this year. That's my bold prediction. That's why I feel it with all my soul. This guy will win MVP this year. For sure. Like if people keep talking about he missed a couple of games and he should have been MVP if he didn't miss those games. As long as he stays healthy this year, I think there should be no way in hell he don't get it.
Yeah, as long as he's healthy, man, and with the tools that he's got coming back, plus the addition of Swift, it's still a scary thing to see. We talk about it, right? Nobody still has not solved the Eagles offense. We left the last we've seen our heroes, the last we saw our heroes, they were still dominating on the offensive side of the ball, and no one has figured it out. We'll see if they can this year, but I don't see how, because we're still as stacked, and I think we're even better on offense than we were last year. When you look at our roster on paper, we're hoping. We're betting on the 2 running back acquisitions to be healthy this year, but what's the odds of both of them not being healthy this year? I think because I was okay before we got Swift. I was okay with Penny before we got Smith. I thought we had made an upgrade with Penny, and now you add Swift to that. Yeah, we're more explosive offense going into next year, and we were one of the top offenses last year. So, a top offense, even better. I don't see where and
people don't understand, too. It's not like Jalen's been in the league starting for all these years like most of these other quarterbacks on the list. Like, we know the best of all those other quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Even Patty Mahomes, we know what the best Patty Mahomes is. Hell, it still wins them MVPs. He's good, but you already know what he's a finished product. You know what I'm saying? He's in his prime doing his thing. Jalen Hurts, we're still like, what's the ceiling? What's the ceiling? Like, we don't even know what this guy's ceiling is. I think it's going to take at least another 2-3 years before we even find out what that ceiling is. And after what we've seen so far, man, woo! I hate it for the NFL, man. It's gonna be hard to stop them. Stop the Eagles on offense. It's gonna be hard to stop Jalen Hurts from winning MVPs, Pro Bowls, first team All Pros if he continue on the ascent that he's on right now. Like I said, year 1 and year 2 was great. Year 2 to year 3 was awesome. Let's see what he does this year.
I've already dubbed this season coming up as unfinished business. This is what we're going to dub this season, unfinished business, and we're going to get the business finished this year. But that's the whole mantra, or the whole, the whole theme of this upcoming year. We got robbed. Yes, we were robbed of the Super Bowl. And then if we get back there, which I think we have a great chance of doing, it'll be a different outcome. So I'm looking so forward to this season. I almost wanted to start tomorrow, but I know
Right?
that beginning of football season means damn near the end of summer. So I can hold off a little bit because I
Okay,
like
yep.
summer. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
I
you on
don't want
that
to
one.
rush summer like that.
I
But
feel you
if
on
it
that one.
wasn't for that fact, like if I lived in Florida, I'd probably be wishing for the football season to start tomorrow. That's how excited I am to see this team. And we're not done. I mean, I'm excited about the roster we have thus far, but this roster is not etched in stone to be our final roster before, the
Oh no.
season begins. Because we've seen how we make, last year he picked up Bradbury and CJ late in the process. So, we and when we haven't talked about it, but we got some people out there that how he might be interested right now. D Hop is out there. We're going to talk about that, right? What do you guys feel about D Hop? Would you want him? He's available. Buda Baker is still out there, although he had to be traded for to get him. And I think the young guy, Brown, is going to take that starting spot if we don't add another veteran safety. But I'm not going to kick Buda Baker out of the bed if how he brings him in. I'll welcome him. So this roster isn't done, isn't etched in stone. And even with that, I still feel confident that we're going back to the game.
Yeah, I think we're gonna hold off. We're gonna definitely hold off until training camp. I think what the Eagles need to do is just see what these young guys got. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys that you're like, they got some potential, whether they were drafted last year or not even drafted, but picked up last year or picked up in unrestricted free agency this year. It's a lot of talent back there, especially on that defensive side of the ball. A couple of guys on offense where you guys let's see what they can do first, because I like the fact that we're a very young team. You know what I'm saying? We're young. That's a lot of speed, a lot of, when you're young, 22, 23-year-old, as opposed to when you're up in your 30s, that's a different football player. And I think that, having all that young talent and all that strength on our team is going to be a plus for us, because they all can grow together, through the system, through everything. They can keep growing together throughout the years. And as they get better, Jalen gets better, the leaders on this football team get better, the team will get better, and it won't be an old football team for a while. So I want to see them go ahead and go through training camp, see exactly, what these guys can do so we can know what we got. And then, like you said, it ain't over yet. Before the season starts, we need to pick up somebody to, cover some holes. There'll be players. There's always players out there, guys. That's the one thing. Sue said he's not, going to nobody's training camp, so he's going to be chilling. If we need to go pick up a DT, we can go pick up Sue. He was in our system last year. He's played with these players last year. He did a good job when he played with us, too. So if that's a position we need, we can go get that. And then besides, post June 1st cuts, there's going to be some people out there, to pick up. So, before we get to that Hawkins thing, too, I had one more. I got the running backs, man. I think this one will be interesting for you guys. Top 10 running backs. We got Derrick Henry, of course. That's my guy. It's hard for me, even though Derrick Henry didn't lead the league in rushing last year, it's still hard for me to say Derrick Henry's not the best running back, in the NFL right now. He's still that big monster. I remember when people were talking about the Eagles maybe getting Derrick Henry. I thought that would be a dream come true. The season would be over. If he got a guy like Derrick Henry, he'll be more fresh throughout the season. He's not going to be the bell cow, and the team would be that much more dangerous. We didn't get him, but that is one guy that I think number one should go to Derrick Henry. Josh Jacobs from the Raiders also balled out last year. Jonathan Taylor, I love him over there with the Colts. Nick Chubb, he's a stud, a bowling ball out there. Saquon Barkley back to being Saquon Barkley last year. Christian McCaffrey, with the Niners, who was amazing last year, even though, his career has been very injury prone, but last year with healthy, you seen what he can do. Aaron Jones from the Packers, I love him. He's always putting up some nice yards every single year in, year out. Our boy Boobie over there in Carolina, man. Boobie Miles, I love Miles Sanders. I think he doesn't crack. After last season, it showed if you gave him the carries, on a good team, he can be a top 10 running back. Cincinnati's Joe Mixon, I think he does help balance out that offense over there with those receivers. And then Travis Etienne over the last 2 years has definitely done some things. So how do you like this list? And if you would, what would you change if you would change anything?
I would probably put Eckler in there since he was the
You know what?
top touchdown scorer last year. That's the only one. I like the list too, but I would probably have to fit Eckler in there. He's a big part of what the Chargers do out there, and he's was one of the leaders in total touchdowns last year. So
Yeah,
I
and
see that's
I
the
had a
omission
name
that
on
I
the tip
probably
of my
would
tongue to
change.
put on there, but for some reason I didn't know who I would take out for him. Like maybe Etienne because he's still young,
Yeah,
but
maybe
he
ETN.
had a
Yeah, I would probably take
great
him.
year last year too. For that team
Yeah,
in terms of like his team wasn't that great, but he did a great job out there. Yeah, Austin Eckler. If you can switch out somebody, I don't know. I can see that happening, but he'd definitely be 11 if not. I
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
he's
definitely.
definitely the next guy on the list for sure. In
And
terms of running
somebody
back.
said Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, this is a tough list because these running backs are definitely deserving. Dalvin Cook, and Eckler are, I mean, they're arguably two names that you could probably fit in there, but who would you take off? That's the big question. So out there,
Yeah,
the guy, uh, Eagles fan, Dalvin Cook, who would you take off and put Dalvin Cook in place of? Let me know that. For
yeah,
those
that
and
is
the
good.
Cowdirge fan that's out there talking about some boo, where's Pollard? I don't know if Pollard is in the top 10. He's definitely, for those who just missed the list, he's in
Oh,
that group of players. For those who are just outside of the top 10, I think Pollard is probably in that list. I'm talking about like you're talking about like from 11 to 13. He probably would be in that
and then you can throw Cook in that list. You can throw Kamara in that list. You know what I'm saying? There are some running backs that were, overall careers, yes.
right.
There's some better careers out there. But in terms of going into this season, Dalvin wasn't the same Dalvin last year. I don't know. I feel like he
No, he wasn't.
he missed a beat. I saw it same with Kamara. He's not been the same over there. Um, and Pollard, that was his first good year, yes. But I don't know, man. I still don't think it was like beating these guys that we got here on this list. Basically, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that he's better than these guys that we got on this list right here. But
Yeah, and you got to think of when you are basing this on. Like you said, you made the distinction. Is if you're talking career, it's probably a different list. If you're talking
yeah,
coming off the last year, then that's a different list. You know what I'm saying? So I get why your list is the way it looks because we talk about guys who were coming off the year they had last year, and these guys on this list definitely are deserving. The only question I wouldn't question Pollard. I would just question Eckler not making that. But yeah, that's a good list. This is based on last year, not the
yeah, going
entire
into this year,
careers.
yeah.
Yeah, going into
When I
this
make
year
my
for
list,
last.
that's what I do. I go off of right now. I don't want to go off of overall careers because then that's too much. Because one person might think makes a person a number one. One touchdowns or yards or Super Bowls or something like that. Where it's just like if we're just talking about skill positions this year, what I'm saying going into this year, these are the players I think are going to be the best ones. So yeah, man, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice to see some of these players this year get out there, and I hope Swift can make the list next year. What do you think about that? Because we all talk about Boobie Mouse, his great season he had last year. What do you think about Agent Zero? Is Agent Zero going to have? And what's so funny? I was looking at a bunch of Miles Sanders highlights today for some reason, and I was really looking. I'm like, dang man, Miles had a lot of big holes, man. But he didn't have to do too much, really, for real, for real. He just had to run, you
Right.
know, just run. And Swift, with all the extra motivation, being back in his city, the hometown, what I'm saying, with his Georgia Bulldog people on his team, what I'm saying. I just think Swift could have a better season this year. And we might be talking about Swift top 10 running back next year. I don't feel like he's ever fulfilled his promise. He's not there yet. Everybody knows he's a great runner, he's a good running back, but he's not a great running back yet. I think we got a line quarterback like we have, receiving core like we have, that can change very quickly this year.
I do too. I think Swift is primed to have that type of season running behind this offensive line. He's already a dynamic running back. You know that, right? When he's healthy, he's a dynamic running back. And you plug him into this offense and running behind that line, I think he'll be even better than Boobie was. I mean, like you said, Boobie ran through some big holes And but what Boobie doesn't do well is after contact, he doesn't have a lot of yards after contact. Swift, we don't have that problem. We're not going to
Yeah.
have that problem with him. He's going to be running through some big holes, I agree. But it's those times when he does have to engage in a tackler, he has a better chance of getting yards after that first contact. Whereas once you hit Boobie, it was over. He was down. There was not any more yards to be found after Boobie got hit. So yeah, Smith has a lot of the potential. I think he is going to be in the top 10, and it's all dependent upon whether he stays healthy or not. But if he stays healthy or not, it's going to be a scary thing. That's all I can
How
say.
you think they're going to play that? You think
scary.
they're going to just see the beginning, start the season off, rotating them all in, just to see who's going to get the hot hand? Or like, remember that year the Eagles when they had Boobie, they had Howard and Scott and those guys, and it's just whoever had the hot hand that week or Gainwell. Every running back, there was like each running back had like almost 100-yard game that season. Because whoever was riding that hot hand, they kept in. Do you think they're going to do that running back by community thing, or do you think it's going to be more like last year with Boobie and just like it's a running back by committee, but Boobie was definitely the lead back.
I think they're going to duplicate that. I know that we have the Eagles talking about. We've been, excuse me, notorious for a running back by committee. But if you look at Sirianni's time here, Sirianni he likes to have a feature back. I mean, we saw it last year. I think that's what he's more comfortable with, and having a more feature back. I mean, the other backs are going to get some touches, but it's not going to be like 2017. You know what I mean? It's not going to be that type of running back by committee. I think there's going to be one back that's going to have the majority of carries, and that's going to be Swift. I believe so. So, yeah, just watching Sirianni these past few years, I think he likes to have a feature back. He definitely gives others touches. Don't get me wrong. That's how you keep the running backs fresh into the late in the season. But if Swift is healthy and he is what we think he is, I think he's going to get majority of the carries.
And if Swift does get those carries, who do you think really will be the feature number 2? Do you think we see Penny be taking that role? Do you think Gainwell will actually, even get any better this year? Because a lot of people want Gainwell to be number 1. I remember seeing, and like people said before, it's like Gainwell came in always fresh in games where, it was like, it wasn't in the beginning. He kind of came in after the game started, the lineman got to get on those linemen to hit, come in, and he's fast, he's quick, and come in and do his thing for play by play. He's guaranteed, he's had like 4 or 5 touchdowns both seasons he didn't play, just because, when he comes in, he's electric. Do you think he can take over that number 2 role completely? Or do you think it's going to be like a split number 2? Like, it doesn't matter. It's going to be Swift, and then they're going to get, whoever's got the hot hand for the second guy whenever they get that carry.
I think the cat is out of the bag. We saw it in the postseason, man. The things that they did with Gainwell in the postseason, you can't put that cat back in the bag. You know what I mean? It was perfect for last year's postseason because we didn't see that Gainwell that we saw in the postseason during the regular season, right? It was almost like they unveiled their secret weapon in the postseason with Gainwell and the things he was doing, catching the ball out of the backfield and the touches he got in the postseason. And now that cat's out the bag, I don't think they're going to put it back in the bag. So, yeah, I think that Swift is going to be the feature back. But I think out of the 3 that's left, I think Gainwell is going to be the guy that emerges as the second back. I mean, the second number 2 back out of the backfield, because he can do so much, and they like that, what he can do. He's like a secret weapon almost, with all that he can do out of the backfield. So I think that it'll be Swift, most carries, and then I think the most snaps after that is going to be Gainwell. Mark it down. Let's see if my prediction comes true.
You think you have more second number 2 back or Jalen Hurts? Who's going to run the ball more this year?
Jalen Hurts or the number 2 back?
Yeah.
Ooh, Jalen Hurts going to run the ball more. I think, I mean, come on. He's the second leading rusher. I don't think that's going to change too much because that's a big part of our offense. That RPO is a big part of offense. And not only a big part, it's a big part of what makes the offense successful is his running. So I don't think that's going to change too much. I would be surprised. We have to see, because we do have a new offensive coordinator who is well versed in what we ran last year, but he's going to definitely put his own wrinkle out there. So it's going to remain to be seen. But I think you don't take the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hand as much as he was successful last year. You got to go with the formula that has worked for you. So I will see what this guy does.
Well, with this list, who you think having more rushing yards as a quarterback this year? Lamar just got paid. Jalen just got paid. You know, Justin Fields had a better season last year, looking to make that next step in year 3. And then you got the rookie, you know, Anthony Richardson might be
That's a
running
good
first
one right there.
So
That's a
which
good
one
question. Who you got, BG? I'm gonna wait for you. Who you got?
Who gonna have the most rushing yards this year? Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, you think?
I think Lamar had it, but I don't know. Like, I'm still not sold on he's gonna come back and be this great quarterback. You know, like, I don't like the way he didn't play. I know it was a business decision. I didn't like the way his team made it to the playoffs. He didn't play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't like he's been kind of hurt, you know, a little bit on and off the last couple of years. You know, he hasn't been elite over the last like 2 years, I'll say for sure. You know, where it's like he's not. I don't know. I can't say he's not the same Lamar Jackson, but he did seem not to want to be the same Lamar Jackson. So, you know, he's getting more talent around him. Will he? You know, will he pass the ball more now? You know, that he got this big contract, they're gonna look for him to use his arm a lot more. You know, they lined him up with all the injuries. They lined him up in like power formation so many times, you know, and went out there and let him run. And like he's got hit a lot already. You know, like we said with Jalen Hurts, it's a different running style. You know, it's easy yards, kind of easy yards. You know, and the design plays are well designed to the point where he's usually not getting hit unless he hit to the second level. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think Jalen Hurts leads it. I'm not saying he's gonna have that many more yards than these guys, but I think Jalen Hurts could be the one that leads the quarterbacks in yards.
I think Jalen has a good chance just because of what you said, that he's a lot of plays are orchestrated for him to possibly run. I'm not going to say they're orchestrated for him to run, but they give him the option of whether he's going to, you know, choose to give it to the running back or run. So he has more plays that he can that are designed for, you know, that can possibly turn into a design run for him. So he'll get the most opportunities play-wise to run. But I think it's going to be between him and Justin Fields, because Justin Fields still doesn't have that solid supporting cast. And I don't know, I'm not well-versed on what they did in the offseason, but I know their offensive line wasn't that great, and a lot of his runs were necessary to keep the drive going, or the extend the play, so to speak. So he's still going to be in that position this year. So he's going to have a lot of opportunity to get a lot of yards. And we saw last year, he's an explosive runner too. So I think it's between those two, Justin Fields. And if I had to put $100 on it, I might even put it on Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, yeah, because he had some nice runs last year too. It reminded me of that year too of Jalen Hurts for sure. You know, without the passing. But yeah, man, that's a good question. I seen that on Twitter, and I was like, wait, who is going to lead the league this year? You know, let's see what else we got here to talk about. We got here top 32 teams. How you like this list? You got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. That's what the number three best
I don't like that
duel in the NFL. You don't like it?
I don't like that. No, I think we should be in conversation. I think it should just be between us and Miami on the top two. And when I say that, I mean like one is number one, and then the other one is 1A. You know what I mean? Like it's
1A, 1B.
Really close. 1A, 1B. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. But I definitely see it's better than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Not to take anything away from
AJ
them,
being better than better than Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
Higgins. I think Devontae Smith is better than Higgins. So I think, like you said, the Waddle and Tyreek Hill comparison, because I think Tyreek's a little bit better than AJ. He's a little bit more dangerous than AJ. And then I think you kind of like got to even out the whole Waddle Smith thing. Like I liked Waddle coming out of the draft. You know, he got more yards, I think, than Smith, but Smith is a route, genius. Like he got magical feet out there. You know, he get open anytime you want him to. So I think the way they compare to each other, I think Waddle and Waddle and Tyreek Hill are both like explosive receivers. You know what I'm saying? Where you got, AJ being your power receiver, and then you got Smitty being your possession receiver. So it's more of a better comparison, like duel there. So I would have to go with, I believe that they're the best receiver duel in the league. You know what I'm saying? So Higgins. I would see, like you said, 1A, 1B would be like Tyreek Hill, Waddle, and then AJ and Smith. But then it'll be 3 Jamar Chase and the rest of those guys. So
Yeah, then it's the rest of the crowd, man. Come on, Devontae Smith is not only a route technician, he catches the ball. I mean, he catches the ball. You might be able to hula hoop through a Cheerio, as Tommy out there is talking about. He may be able to hula hoop through a Cheerio, but when he gets hands on the ball, he's usually pulling it in, and that is the mark of great receivers, right? That's the one thing that separates most of these receivers from the average receivers. Not only do they have athletic ability to get open and things of that nature, right? But they catch the ball. And Devontae Smith is one of the best at catching the ball, contested catches, tough catches. You know what I'm saying? And and that's why I have to put him above Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That aspect of our dynamic duo, Devontae Smith he's a baller.
Yeah, Smitty's the man. And he says he believes he's top 10 too. So, when a guy like that and having someone like AJ on the other side who's a whole other type of receiver, that you're like really basing your career off of. You're like, he's on my team. If I'm going to do something, I got to outplay this guy at what I do. And what he does so well. So it's like, yeah, they're going to be dynamic duo for a long time here to come in for Philadelphia, especially as long as Jalen throwing them the rock. So, what about the offensive lineman list? We got the Eagles #1 and tackle.
As we should. Yeah.
Out of top 32. You agree with that, obviously.
Definitely agree with that. Come on. We know nobody's talking about it, I guess, because we have Kelsey there. But let's face it, we're talking about another potential Hall of Fame offensive lineman there. You know what I'm saying? I know Jason Kelsey gets a lot of the mention because he's been in the league longer and he's been playing at a high level, but if we go over Lane Johnson's career and just coming off of last year, Lane Johnson is a potential Hall of Famer himself, still playing at a high level. When's the last time he's even allowed a quarterback pressure? Come on now. You know
3 years in a sack.
Yes, we're talking about the future Hall of Famer and Jordan Mailata, straight out of Stoutland U. You know what I'm saying? Who's never played football until he got here. But he went to Stoutland U, and now he'd probably be a Pro Bowler this year. I mean, he just missed it last year. Yes, I think that's a no-brainer right there. And then those two bookends are major reasons why our offensive line is the best in the league.
Facts, all facts. And then you add Jason Kelsey in the middle there. He's the best center in the league. It's like, yeah, when you got the outsides in the middle being goats, it's kind of hard. Kind of hard to have a bad offensive line there. So, yeah, I agree with this list completely. The Eagles got the best offensive line. I even will say, Kelsey's #1 for center. I would say Landis #1 for guard, if not top 3 at least, because after the season he had last year. Wasn't he All-Pro last year, Landon? Dickerson. So, yeah, he's definitely one of the best guards out there. And then I don't even care who you use in terms of the rookie, Steen, or, Jurgensen. I think either one of those guys gonna play some good football next year for us. So yeah, we got that line on lock.
Yeah, we got that line on lock.
I love it. Do you think
who's that? I saw that we had who's that they were working out this week? I saw. Fluke what's his name?
Fluker from Alabama.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be great. I know he had some good seasons, some bad seasons as of late, but DJ Fluker is a good guard there, and I can see him, because you're bringing more chemistry in. What I'm saying? You got boys you play with, you got boys you're familiar with. If you were to bring a Fluker, I would think he would have a better, season with the Eagles than he would have had, with another team picking him up. So, if Stoutland want to go get him, he can work on it. And plus, Stoutland knows him. I think he was coaching there, and that was one of his guards he played with. So, if Stoutland thinks he's good enough, and if he doesn't want to use, he want to let Steen redshirt this year, like we did Jurgensen last year, or maybe want to save Jurgensen for, that backup center role without having to worry about him getting hurt this year. Then go ahead and let a Fluke come in. At least I know Stoutland knows him. He was a first-round pick, so he has the potential. You just got to get it out of him.
And he would provide a lot of he would provide the depth at the offensive line that we're accustomed to having, even though we've had a very stout, one of the top offensive line the past few years. one of those things that allowed us to have that is the offensive line depth, because they get nicked up from time to time, and we need our backups to come in and maybe play a game or two, and we have had solid backups to be able to step in and keep the level of offensive play at a high level. That's why our offensive line has been ranked so high. Is that all our starters don't start all 17 games, 16 games, but we have solid backups that come in and they provide the depth that we need. So Fluker coming in could be a piece that continues that depth, because we've lost some of that last year, lost a starter and a backup, and we're seeking to replace them with equal talent, and not only on the starting lineup, but in the on the bench too. So yeah, I like Fluker. I hope he can come in and provide and give us that, because that's the only question mark I even had on the offense. The offense, I think, is way better, more explosive and all that. The biggest question mark I had coming in to this year about the offense was our offensive line depth. So anything that can help that is going to make it, even better for this team.
These are the betting odds for the Eagles being the last undefeated team again this year. Plus 750. What do you think? Are the Eagles going to be the last undefeated team this year again in 23?
I think there's an excellent chance that happens. I think so. We did our team by team, game by game prediction this year, and most of us had the Eagles going. My co-host further than me, I had us taking a L a little earlier in the season, but even with that, it's a coin flip. You know what I'm saying? The L that I had us taking earlier in the season, because we don't face too many tough teams early in the season, but we do face one team that I said that we may lose to, and that's the New York Jets. But that's also easy. That could go either way. I was just giving the Jets some credit because they were already a solid team. They were just missing one position, and we know that position has been filled by one Aaron Rodgers. That's the only position they were missing last year.
Yeah.
If they had a quarterback, it would have been, it would have been lights out up there. So they do have that quarterback. So out of all the early games we had, I think that's our biggest challenge, but it's definitely still a winnable game. So if that happens, we're definitely going to be one of the last undefeated teams in the league right there. I mean, this team is built. This team is built different. This team, it's not built different. This era of Eagles football to me seems to be different. Like, you saw what we did last year. We talked about it. We can't help but talk about it. That was a great season. That was a dominating season. And I don't see this team coming out and doing any less this year than what they did last year. I think that mentality, that greatness that we saw last year is the culture of this team from now on out. Until Sirianni or this roster falls apart, I think that he has laid the foundation for that type of play to be the culture of the Philadelphia Eagles, current day Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I agree with you. You even got these young bulls coming out there, talking big stuff. You know what I'm saying? Look at Nolan Smith. He says, I want that playbook. I want it. I want that PDF. I want to be on that field. I want to show y'all why y'all should have picked me number one. I'm being dead serious, for real. Like, he's coming hungry. He might even have a bigger role this year than anybody's really expecting him to. I know a lot of people say he's behind, Hassan Reddick, but like I said, if we run that 3-4, he might be on the field just as much as Hassan Reddick. Plays would start going towards his way. He would have the opportunity to have a bigger season.
That right there says it all, man. That epitomizes the culture that I just talked about. Look at who said it. Look at who said this. We're not talking about Hassan Reddick that's already proven. We're not talking about, we're not talking about the stars that are already proven. We're talking about the rookie coming in the door is embodying that competitive spirit, already has a chip on his shoulder. And this team already embodies that type of mentality, as we saw with last year's team. You understand? And we add this to the mix. I'm telling you, this team, the culture of this team has changed. I take my hat off to Sirianni, man. You know, coming in the door, his first press conference, it was really, really awkward, and I killed him. I killed him personally when it happened. But you know, after in the midst of killing him, I also said I'm not going to judge him on that first press conference because all I'm worried about are W's and L's, and that's what I kept focusing on. And he has done a magnificent job in that era. And not only that, when you look at all the wins that he has amassed, you see that his style of coaching that definitely resonates with the team. They feed into it, and now we have this culture of winning and greatness and dominance, and we're bringing in more players that embody that same mentality. And he said it all right there in that comment right there.
And then don't forget the other
playbook.
the guy we did pick up #1 now. And don't forget, old boy here, it's a Jalen Carter. He was like, everybody is connected. There's a good connection in this locker room. I plan on making a big impact to the team and to the season early. It's going to be go back to the Super Bowl and win it this time.
And that's another big statement by one of our top rookies, because we definitely probably need to hear more from him than we do from Nolan Smith. I mean, it's a luxury to hear from Nolan Smith, right? To have somebody come in that I think that we lucked up to get in the first round when they had him projected to go to us number 10. We get him at 30. That, to me, that's a luxury. So to have him think like that, that's also a luxury to me. But this is the guy who we need to have that type of mentality and that type of chip on his shoulder, because he is the best, arguably the best athletic talent in the draft, and we need him to come in hungry, especially with the offseason he's had. We need him to have that mentality, and he's going to be put in such a great situation with playing next to some great defensive linemen. I mean, he's going to be in that same spot that Hargrave was in last year, and he's going to be able to eat in his rookie year. Now, we see a lot of defensive linemen monsters come in the league, and they don't necessarily tear it up in their rookie season. I get it, you know, the adjustment and all that they have to make from the college to the pros, but this guy is coming in the top of his game from the college, off of a national championship, the dominating defensive tackle, and then he's going to be placed next to other talented defensive linemen, which enabled last year's defensive tackle to eat. He's going to be put in a prime position. He doesn't have to beat a lot of double teams. He's not even going to be the focus of most offensive lines when he's coming in. And you got a Fletcher Cox already there, when you got a Hassan Reddick already there, when you got a Josh Sweat, when you got, when we got all these other defensive linemen. He's not going to be the focus of the offensive line, at least not starting the season. Maybe by game 5 they'll figure it out, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to stop this guy because he's going to be a beast. So he comes into a situation where he's going to be able to feed off of being surrounded by such talented defensive players already on this defense. Man, he should eat.
What about the guy we got from Steelers? Are you talking about Edmonds?
Yeah, Edmonds.
Where's Street from? Street was from the Niners.
Who?
Oh, he went to another team. Street, the DT. You got Streets. I remember he was on the Niners. I don't know if he came from there. Oh, yeah, he's talking about Edmonds. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. Right. Hey, Edmonds should start. That's a starting safety. He had a pretty good season last year. He's more of the box safety type guy. If you got him and a Sidney Brown back there or a Blankenship back there, I just want, in terms of that safety room, I just want the best 2 players to start. The best 2
I do
players.
Too.
Like,
and if the early favorites are Edmonds and the rookie, actually. Edmonds and the rookie are the early favorites here. But Edwards was a solid guy last year. I mean, minus the playmaking ability that CJ had, the turnovers, interceptions, and stuff like that. You take that out of the mix, he's one of the top safeties back there. I mean, he was solid. He was very solid. And that may even change around because of the talent. I mean, the group that he's playing with. You talked about it last time. Was CJ really that great, or was he a product of playing in the defense, with the front 7 in front of him, having those opportunities to get those turnovers? So, Edmonds may have that same opportunity now. We might see him turn into more of a playmaker on on interceptions and the such because of the front seven that we have.
I think that's why players want to come to our team because, like I said, the team is so complete with stars that you could come in a good player and end up a great player. Like you said, Edmonds could come in and be a Pro Bowl first team All Pro safety next year. Just from the scheme and just from the system and the players that are around that pressure from the front seven, and you still got Slay, Bradbury. I think our cornerback room as a whole got better and deeper. So it's like you're even saying it's gonna be that much easier for you to make these plays. If you looked at a lot of plays CJ made, for one, he missed a bunch of games, and for two, a lot of those plays he was just in the right place at the right time because that's the only the quarterback was under pressure. The quarterback was under pressure and he threw the ball and he was in the right place at the right time. So yeah, Edmonds could definitely be a Pro Bowler this year, All Pro this year. I would love to see that Brown go ahead and take that other spot because then you got more of a free, ball hawking safety and then your box safety together and play a little high low there. But at Blankenship starts, that's cool with me too. Everybody been waiting for Kayvon to do something. I'm not saying he's going to start, but if he got better, which I don't know how he can over that. How many years Kayvon been with us? Like 3-4 years now. He ain't did it yet. I'm not really, confident he is going to do it. You never know what they do with Greedy Williams. Are they going to let him go to the slot? Let Maddox go back there? What I'm saying? That'd be a nice little move that the Eagles could make there too. So I think the secondary is definitely going to be a lot better this year. How they shape up that safety position, who knows? They might have different packages for different guys. Different packages for different guys. But it's going to be good. It's definitely going to be good.
It's definitely going to be good. Just the competition in the various rooms. I mean, the competition in the secondary room is going to be great, right? Like whoever emerges from this preseason or training camp battle have to be very talented because it's a lot of competition in this room. I mean, at every position there's a lot of competition. So those that line up on the field as the starting unit are definitely going to have earned it. And like we talked about last year, this team is, in practice, it's iron sharpening iron for sure. We got a top 5 defense going up against a top 5 offense every day in practice. You got the best, one of the best secondary tandems going up against one of the best wide receiver tandems in the league. Yeah. Everybody's making everybody good here. You got the best offensive line going up against the best sack defensive front seven in the league. Everybody's making everybody better, man. And so whoever emerges in this training camp battle on the depth chart is definitely going to have earned their position. And I'm going to feel comfortable with whoever they decide the starting lineup is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Buda Baker will be nice too as well, guys. I'm not opposed to that too. Buda Baker and Edmonds together back there will be a dynamic safety group back there. So, but it's like I said earlier, it's one of the things that you're gonna wait and see what your young guys got first. We got some young talent there. We need to really get these guys back there, see what kind of defense Sean Desai has and how he wants to deploy these DBs. And then make a decision if you want to go get a big name guy like that. Because right now I think we have some money. We could pull the trigger on a trade or something. We have trade assets. But I want to see what the young guys got. These guys that are drafted last year, the year before last, I want to see what all they got this year. I wouldn't even mind playing a game or two with them before you actually try to go to that well and see, because some people just need the time to play. They might not be the best practice players. They just get them on the field and see what they can do. And you get a lot more better action out of them. So, we got so many bodies at the secondary position, so many bodies that, were high profile college players or even, good players in the NFL already. So, young players, young exciting players like a Josh Jobe. What's he gonna do this year? What I'm saying? You still got Greedy. I want to see what Greedy does. I think that's people hating on Greedy, but I think Greedy was a good cornerback, man. He wasn't great, but he was definitely good. With the rest of these guys around him, he could be great. I think he had a good year with Cleveland, like 1 or 2 good years with Cleveland. Right.
I agree with you. I don't think we necessarily need Buda. Like I said, would I kick him out of bed if Howie brought him in? No, I'm not going to kick him out of bed. But I'm okay with the young guys. We saw it with, I hate to say it, but we saw it with the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of 5 rookies on defense started. But and maybe they weren't as as good as some of the players on our team, but what they got last year is invaluable, and that's experience. So this year they're going to be better when they come in, and we are, because of our signing of our quarterback, we're not going to have a lot of money to go out there. I mean, Howie did a good job. Don't get me wrong. He did put us in position to be able to still be in the mix. But just the truth of the matter, we're not going to have as many millions of dollars to go after big name free agents. So we're going to have to depend on our draft and these rookies. So the sooner you can get them up to speed, the better. So I take a hit. I'll take a hit on the inexperience just to get them the experience they need so that we can take advantage of that cheap talent, because that's what rookies are. That's what players on rookie deals are to us, cheap labor. So let's get them up to speed, give them a chance. I mean, we got enough veterans around them to take a chance on a Sidney Brown starting. You know what I'm saying? Take a chance on them to give them the experience that they need. Because if they turn out to be what we think they are, look, we need to find out sooner rather than later.
Facts, man. Facts. And like Micah said, you're trading $80 million for Hargrave for a $20 million Jalen Carter. It's like, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. Like you said, cheap talent. As long as you got them on that rookie deal, that's like, especially a first rounder, that's 5 years you can wrap these guys up. 5.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? 5 years from now, the Eagles could have won like 2-3 Super Bowls by then. This contract that they signed right now is going to be good for the next 5 years. And we're going to see how that goes. Teams, let's say play out of it. If they play out of it because we won probably a couple Super Bowls, then I can understand them getting their contract restructured. And, Howie's the man. He's going to be able to handle that. He is the king of the cap, Mr. Howie. Shout out to King of the Cap. BIRDGANG Friend Champs. We got them shirts out there. Go check those out as well, man. What's next? What was next, man? We talking about everything here. Oh yeah. Oh, I see. Audrey want to talk about this right here.
Yeah. What's your thoughts out there? Let me know. Everybody that's looking now, just throw in the chat line, a yay or nay on D-Hop. Just put it out there. Now,
I'm gonna tell you what I feel.
Yeah, you tell me, BG, what you think?
Yeah, I made a little video about this. I'm like, D-Hop hasn't really been D-Hop the last couple of years, right? He's kind of been hurt a little bit. But if he wants to come in on a veteran minimum, I'm not paying him, because I heard right now he's like looking through teams. Some team wants to pay him, some people don't. And I would say, if he can go out there and get his money somewhere, which I believe he still can because his name carries weight in the NFL, go do it. Go do it. You know what I'm saying? I like the receivers we got. We're good, because, Goddard's our third receiver anyway, and then you look at like fourth receiver Quez or Ojulari, that's all good stuff. But if he wants to chase that ring on a veteran minimum, and he's cool being receiver number 3, which is what option 4 on our team, now, yeah, you bring him in. Why not? Why not? That'll be scary good for Jalen Hurts. It'll help Jalen Hurts. Like you said, not some long contract, just a year or two. 1 or 2 year deal, while we still got that cap space cushion. 1 or 2 year deal. And I'm not saying we got to do a veteran minimum. You're gonna make a little bit. He is, worth a little bit more. But yeah, man, I'm down with it, man. I'm down with it. But that's it. I'm not signing him no big deal. I'm not giving him a lot of money. Those things are not happening because he'd be our third receiver. But just the stress you put on a defense, having a guy like D-Hop in the slot. Like, really?
I kind of agree with you. I don't, if we don't bring him in, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? What's more important to me is his fit in the locker room, and being able to accept, like you said, it's if he's going to be able to accept being the fourth option. That's we know receivers are the most diva like position in the league, right? So you have to have a certain mentality to come to a team like ours and be able to flourish. You got to be able to accept that I'm not the first option here, and am I going to be okay with that? Am I going to be able to accept this role and not make any waves in the locker room here? Because one of the things that's been quite evident is that we have solid chemistry here. We don't have a lot of I's. We got a lot of we's here. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't accept that role, then I'd rather not bring you in. I don't care if you did Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? We have a solid group, and that cohesion and that chemistry means everything to me, at least in my eyes. So if he can definitely handle that, then yeah, I'll give my stamp of approval, and then it goes to how much money he wants, because we can't give him everything. He would have to take, he would have to definitely come to us in a bargain deal. And I know that he can get more on the open market because he's still valuable. He's still a top receiver when he's healthy and at the top of his game. He is that. But we're not in position to give him that type of money. So he definitely would have to, number one, be able to take a team-friendly deal. And then number two, is his ego going to allow him to be able to fit in as one of the cogs in this machine? Because we already have a machine, a well-oiled machine going on here. And we don't need a squeaky wheel. You know what I mean? We don't need a squeaky wheel.
Yeah, no attitudes. Come in here, know your role, know your place. You know,
right.
Like I said,
we don't need no Alshon Jeffries. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Alshon was good as a receiver, but, you know, he was a squeaky wheel after a while. We don't need that.
He said if he did join the team, what would be D-Hop's Batman name?
Oh,
that's a good one.
We got Swole Batman. We got Fast Batman, Skinny
Fast
Batman,
Swole Batman, Skinny Batman.
Oh, I don't know. Somebody, you make a suggestion out there. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Someone
Dreaded
said
Batman. Dreaded Batman. Somebody says Dreaded
right
Batman.
there.
I like that. Dreaded Batman.
What else? Who else would you call? I don't know.
Now that would be scary if he goes to the Chiefs. I saw somebody else put that up there. Scary Batman. Somebody said Scary Batman. Yeah, he would be Scary Batman. You imagine? I mean, come on. D-Hop, AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith. Who do you throw the ball to? Who do you throw the ball to? Anybody you want. But yeah, he would be scary if he goes to the Chiefs too. Like,
you have 3,000.
I almost want to sign him so he don't go there. You know what I'm saying? I would almost want to sign him so he doesn't go to the Kansas City, because we've seen Patty Mahomes do amazing things after Tyreek Hill left. Like, after his best receiver left, he still led the league in passing yards. That's crazy. So I wouldn't want to give him another weapon like,
I don't know.
Like D-Hop.
I still think he's got his best receiver. That's Travis. I think even when Tyreek was there, Travis is his best receiver. You know, and Tyreek Hill, yes, Tyreek Hill is the man. But I think Juju did his role last year, and a couple of the other receivers stepped up too. You know, like, really, it's all about, it doesn't matter the name. It's if you're catching the football, doing your job. You know, as long as you got people out there doing their job, catching the football, you can be whatever name you want. You know, we've had receivers like that where we all clamored around Greg Ward to see that he was catching everything. We're like, oh, Greg is so good. Keep him on the team. He needs to be an Eagle for life. You know, you got who else played good? Jordan Matthews. We try to make Jordan Matthews like some all-star receiver. You know what I'm saying? That played for us. So it's like, if you're catching the ball, doing your thing that way, then I guess you're gonna get some clout. So I just think, I don't think it would even matter if he went there or not. I don't think it would really shift the balance too much on that Kansas City team. Like, I wouldn't be that much more scared of him if they had a D-Hop. I suppose they didn't, because I think, you know, he is an older receiver, been injury prone a little bit, and I think our cornerbacks will be able to shut him down. So I'm not worried about D-Hop. Either you're on the winning squad with the Eagles, or best of luck to your career. You know, go ahead and do your thing. You know, like, whatever.
Yeah, because you know, if he's chasing a ring, you know, you need to come here if he's chasing a ring.
There's a couple other.
The AFC is going to be it's going to be a battle coming out of the AFC, and I know the Chiefs started defending Super Bowl champs and all that, and I know they're always in the race. Ghost Batman, I like that one too.
Batman, because the ball disappears in his hands. I like that. I like that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
So, you know, I know the Kansas City Chiefs are always in contention, but there's a lot of contention on the AFC side. So if you're chasing a ring, you probably got a easier path to the big game in that ring if you come here, if that's one of his considerations. Because, you know, the AFC now has the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, the now the Jets that have to be in that conversation. They have some top teams over there that's going to be, you know, it's going to be a bloodbath getting to the Super Bowl. If you want, we don't know what teams are going to emerge, but right now the cream of the crop are us and the whiners right now. I don't know who else you can consider on our level And even then, I think the Winers are still a step below.
Yeah.
So you have an easier path if you came to the NFC, D-Hop, if you stayed in the NFC, because he was already on the NFC. If you stay in the NFC, you have an easier path. If he's listening. Oh, I know he's listening because it's us. It's me and BJ. I mean, BG, who would not be watching this program right now?
I think he's got to make a decision. Do you want the bag again? You know, Aaron took the bag last year. You know, that's why, you know, his team wasn't that great, you know, like they usually are, because he took the bag. His best receiver left. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those decisions when you're a veteran. You can go for more money or you want the ring. If you want the ring, you take a friendly deal, come over here to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Do your role, because your role is like, you know, what, 50, 60
So who
balls?
goes to the slot, BG? Tell me that. If D-Hop comes here, who goes to the slot?
D-Hop.
D-Hop. I asked somebody else that.
Or even, like, there'd be times where SMITTY can go to the slot, you know? But I think you should still start SMITTY and AJ. If you're in a 2-receiver set, those are your 2 receivers. But you can move them all around, you know what I'm saying? If when you get to 3 and 4 receivers, you know, it don't matter where he at. He can be anywhere on the field, but it's another weapon that's guaranteed to do something.
Oh, that's a good. I've heard that quote somewhere. I can't even pronounce his name. How you Twizzit DJ? I can't even.
Twizzit
Jigga. Twizzit Jigga.
There.
You know, Money Nice Championships. I heard this. Yeah. You got to give me the phonetic spelling of that name. I can't get it.
Right.
Aaron is to be watched. Definitely Aaron needs to be watched. The Jets are definitely a team that you got to look out for, because they were instant contenders. Just add quarterback. You know what I mean? They're instant Super Bowl contenders. Just add quarterback, and they've been
good for a while. They've been good for a while. They just ain't had no quarterback. Flacco and whatever that boy they drafted. That was trash.
And he brought over some receivers with him to go along with the rookie offensive player of the year, to go along with the one of the top rookie running backs before he got hurt, Breece Hall. So you know he's coming into a nice situational offense, and then the defense was already the gorillas out there. So you know, they're going to be a problem over there.
That's a fact. I don't think no one's guarding SMITTY in the slot.
Yeah, nobody, not in the slot.
Ain't nobody got
Twisted Jigga. There you go, Twisted Jigga. All right,
Twisted Jigga.
That's what I could. Twisted Jigga. All right. Thank you, Eagles has landed. Helping me out. It was right there too. Now that he says it, I'm looking at it like, yeah, that is.
That is what it says.
That's what it says. All right. Sometimes you got to get your eyes focused.
What about any of these other receivers out there? You know what I'm saying? Like anybody else you would like to add? I know there's talks of Deshaun Jackson, maybe Julio Jones, any of these old guys that might want to chase the ring that you let them come on a team and add to this nucleus.
For sentimental reasons, you know, I would like, you know, D-Jack back. I would love to have D-Jack back and pay him his reparations by winning him a Super Bowl, because he is owed reparations by this organization for the way that he was run out of town. If you guys disagree, anybody disagree with me, raise your hand right now.
Right.
If you agree with me, also raise your hand, because he was run out of this team, out of this organization, and it was so unfair that I think that this organization owes him reparations by bringing him back and allow him to be a part of this unfinished business tour that we're about to go on this year, because that's what it's going to be called, the unfinished business tour, and allow D-Jack to be in the house as we win one. I don't even have to have a big role. You know what I'm saying?
Just punt returner.
Yeah, punt returner or something like that. He could come in and get a ring the same way Shady got his last 2 rings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but just be on the roster and be in the atmosphere and everything. I think he's owed that by this organization. I know they tried to give it to him a couple years back, but
the team wasn't as good then.
The team wasn't as good. Our quarterback was a freaking mess and all that. I know they attempted, but give him another shot. If he's willing to continue to play, I think that would be fitting. That would be the receiver or the player I would like to bring back to give a chance to get a ring.
Because he hasn't really played that great really earn a lot of money. So if you bring him back, he's gonna be on the low, you know.
Right, right.
And then, like you said, punt returner. That's perfect. Punt returner, and every so often, 3 targets a game. You know what I'm saying? Just go deep to him 3 times a game. Just to let him go run out there. If he stays injury free, that'd be a nice little role for him. Like you said, just to win that championship with us. Everybody that from the Chip Kelly era that did wrong. Not too many of them are still playing, but the ones that are still playing, they should all get a chance to come back to Philly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Shady got his, albeit it wasn't with us, but he got a chance to get him a couple rings, 2
the
rings
easy
in
way.
the last 2 years. The easy way too, isn't
The
that
easy
great?
way.
And I'm sure that he's not mad about getting it those ways either, because he's done. When you've gotten all the glory,
Yeah.
you don't feel bad.
He put that work
Getting
in.
an easy ring at the end of your career, like that's just like icing on the cake right there, right?
Now you can say he's
He's
a
already been an
2-time
all
Super Bowl
pro.
winner.
Yeah,
When you look at those
that's
numbers
great.
behind it, you're like, whoa, nice numbers. And he won a Super Bowl twice. No one's going to really think, oh, was he actually playing in those Super Bowl games? Think like 2-time
Right.
Super Bowl winner, all pro Shady McCoy, and he's going to get some love off that. So, yeah, I agree, man. Let's bring back D-Jax. I wanted him back last year, too. I was stumping on the table. Hey, bring back D-Jax. Because I think he can't teach speed. He's still fast. Whenever he is healthy, this is a big if. Whenever he is healthy, he's putting up some nice numbers. You know what I'm saying? When he was healthy on the other 2 teams, the Raiders and the Rams, I think he made some plays. I remember one of those he helped beat the Cowboys. Just for that one reason. You're going to see a great Deshaun Jackson in the NFC East games. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna come back for him. So he's a Cowboy killer. He's a Cowboy killer for sure. I think he's killed the Cowboys on every team he's been on. So
Yeah, definitely.
bring D-Jax back for a year. I'll be down with that.
Man, yes. So he can, D-Jack is probably the one that would say something at the Super Bowl press conference about Chip, and he would be deserving. I mean, it would be deserving. He would say something like, if he wanted to bring here and the post game interview, he would probably take a shot at Chip, and deservedly so. I would say go right ahead. I would invite it.
What do you think about the guy that can he make the roster?
He's going to have a tough road ahead of him. I mean, I'm hearing, and you're one of those two that said this. Rooting for Quez and expecting Quez to have a big training camp and the such. And the guy that they brought in 2 guys, didn't they? Well, they brought in one guy that has a great chance to unseat Quez if he doesn't take that step that most are expecting him to take. The guy that has an uphill climb. Let me just put it that way. But
yeah, because you still got Rambo. You know what I'm saying? That he played with Jalen before, and he was actually pretty good. In the XFL, he was doing the thing over there in the XFL. So I think he was like one of the lead receivers over there. So I don't know, man. Like that bottom of the depth chart for me, I just want the best ones out there. So if he makes it, more props to him. But like you said, there's some people back there that he's gonna have to earn that spot for sure. And if he earned that spot, I would be happy with it because I think he'll be good. He'd be good to be on the roster. So I don't feel like that's another one. Just like how the cornerback position is pretty deep, I think our receiver position is pretty deep. Like if one of our star players go down, I think we have enough good players to help supplement that one star player. I don't want none of them to be hurt. Knock on wood. I want none of them to be hurt. But if we were to lose one, Ojulari, Quez, I think we can get one of these guys to go in there and fill in and do a good job until the guy got back. So,
and if we can get that third receiver to be what's that word I'm looking for? A dependable receiver. That's all we need. A dependable receiver when he's not going to get his number called too many times. But the problem I had with Quez, and I think everybody, in the Eagles fan base had with Quez, was he wasn't dependable. We know that he didn't get a lot of targets, but when those targets do come, we need you to make the most of them. And that's where Quez kind of, pun intended, dropped the ball. You know what I mean? That's where
Yeah.
he kind of dropped the ball in those big spots. When he did get his opportunity, he didn't make the most of it. You know, the game against the Washington Redskins, we could have won that game. The game we lost, our first loss this season, had he not
Yeah.
fumbled the ball, the drop or the drop or a non-catch in the Super Bowl was big. So, you know, he's not going to get the ball a lot. But when you have the opportunity, when it is your opportunity to be dependable and make the play, that's what we're looking for from Quez, and or any receiver that emerges as that third receiver. We just want a dependable receiver there. So if the guy that could do that, then he has a chance of making this roster, because that's what they're going to be looking at. Quez, we know he can run. We know he can run with the wind. The only thing we're looking from in Quez in this preseason is him being dependable when the ball comes his way.
And for me with Quez, man, I'm not as hard on everybody else. Like after he came out and said what he said, he's dealing with some mental issues last year. He knows he wasn't playing on top of his heat. Like I said, he had a great year before going into a lesser role. People have egos. People have, expectations for their careers. And, coming off a big season like that, coming back, not getting the ball that much, that's going to shake up anybody. Like we see when Miles Sanders didn't get that many touches, he got injured. He didn't look as good as he did when he got the touches. So just being a part of the game, not putting him in too late, throwing the ball to him late in the game, maybe get him out there early, get some balls to him early. You don't just have to feed the ball to your top three. Feed the ball to everybody in the beginning of the game, and then pick and choose your poison, throughout the game. So I still have faith in Quest. I think he came out, said the right things, and he's on a mission too to prove that hey, that wasn't a fluke. He understands his role this year as opposed to last year. He didn't understand it at the beginning or whatnot, and I think he's going to be that man this year. That the guy we were really looking for last year. That guy that's going to take the top off the defenses, open it up for Devontae and AJ underneath. I feel like AJ's your middle of the field. Devontae's that quick stuff, and then I think we're gonna really have a couple. He's gonna get a couple more balls thrown to him deep this year. From Jalen Hurts. So I think West will reassume that role and play at a high level. I don't even think Ojulari is going to play as much as Quez. To be honest, I think Quez even beats him out. Because of what he got, you can't teach that speed. You cannot teach that speed. And it's still at elite speed level to the point where you gotta try it. I think that's why Howie and Nick said we're still high on Quez. He didn't get the opportunities he got last year, but we're gonna try to work him into into this system this year. And we'll see what happens with that. But yeah. He said the backers are the only position that worries me. I have faith in Dean, but who else we really have to play Mike?
Morrow, right?
Yeah, Morrow.
Yeah, I think he's capable of playing that. We still have Davion. Does Davion play linebacker?
Davion Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, Davion Taylor plays. He was hurt last year, but they were high on him in training camp. They said he was having a good preseason. So they're going to be some position battles there. But you're right. If I had to look at one position on defense, with the biggest question mark, I guess might be. I'll probably be safety first, I guess, and then I would go to linebacker. They would probably be my equal. I probably have equal concern about both of them, safety and linebacker, and that's not horribly. It was. I think prior to last year, we had bigger question marks about the linebackers. Right. I think last year we did a good job in quelching those concerns last year with the linebacker crew we had. Kazir White did okay until he didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he filled in early in the year and did a good job. And I think that we have a group of linebackers as equally as talented as last year. I think Morrow is a tackling machine, just as TJ was. Nakobe Dean, we all know and expect him to be what we assumed he would be when we drafted him. We got a long look at him in that game against the Colts, I believe.
Yeah.
The Colts game when he had to play, and he was all over like a heat-seeking missile. Yeah, so if he continues to do that, I can see where the concern would be, but I think we're going to be all right.
I can see the concern too, but it's just really like you said. It matters how good do you think Dean's actually going to be. You know, do you think he's going to be a game changer, or is he just going to be a good
Oh, the
linebacker?
Titans game. I'm sorry, the Titans
Yeah,
game.
I think for sure. I think he's gonna be a bona fide stud. He's gonna be one of the best middle linebackers in the game. I really feel that high on him, especially since we got a chance to redshirt him last year. You know, he was in that study book. You know, he's in there. You know, learning the defense. Like he said, he could have been ready to play last year, but those guys were playing a lot, some good football last year, so he didn't really get his opportunity. And I think giving him this opportunity, having a red shirt, you know, after also, you know, he get drafted in the third round when he felt like he should have been like a top two, first 2 round type guy. I think he'll come out and ball out, man. I really think so. I think he's gonna be one of the best linebackers in the league. You know, with those big boys ahead of him, you know, he's licking his chops to get out there. You know, plus playing with his boys is gonna make him better. You know, like I said, he knew he led those guys in Georgia, and with those guys, excuse me, playing in front of him on the Eagles, it's gonna make him feel like he is that leader again. And that's gonna make it, like I said, a lot of this chemistry stuff is really gonna make a lot of these guys gameplay go up a lot higher than what we expect, or even if they didn't have so many friends or buddies on the team, it's gonna go a little bit higher than what we really expect, just for that simple reason. Like just things that you can't like, quantify or even look at and be like, okay, this is gonna make a player better, but it is, just all that unity, all that team sportsmanship between each other. And they're gonna push each other. They always gonna be pushing each other. We got to be the best on the team. We're from the Georgia Bulldogs, best defense ever. They're gonna be pushing each other left and right. I think Jordan Davis is gonna have a better season too this year because he got a Jalen Carter right there at him, and they're gonna push each other to be two great DTs on our team. So yeah, man, I don't really know. I think, and if he is an elite type linebacker, I think our linebackers will be fine. Because you got that worldly guy, Murrow guy, who had a good season last year. I think it was one of his best seasons he's played. And coming to a team, like you said, when you got that much talent, makes everybody better. It makes everybody better. So even if he was that good, what on the Steelers last year? What team would he play? Came from again? Was it Steelers?
Who's that?
Murrow.
They came to the Bears.
Oh, Bears, yeah. Come from the Bears to go to a team like the Eagles, yeah. He can definitely up that play a little bit. He said,
all right, hold up. Go back, man. I need to know what this Eagles fly dance is about. Somebody says, Dark Knight, when you're an Eagles content creator on BG31 show, you got to give us your best Fly Eagles fly dance, fam.
Yeah.
Forget about what? Please.
Flapping the wings, whatever it is you do.
Flapping the wings.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do the flapping the wings.
You got it.
I didn't know that. Did you get any music behind that, or you just have to come out and just be able to flap the wings?
Usually at the end, I always do fly.
All right, well, look, give me a pass right now because I'm in preseason mode. I'm in training. We haven't even gone to training camp yet. I haven't even give you my best commentary because I'm in off-season mode. I'm still working out to get ready for the season. So can I get a little pass, Grandier?
Right.
Can I get a little pass?
He said, right on. All right. He said, what do you think? What do you guys think the weakness is on our defense? We talked about it earlier, right? If you had to pick something, you have to go with the linebacker spot. You
have to go there now.
But I don't really feel like we have weakness, really. Like, it's like we got some players that need to prove it. I don't really think it's really a weakness. I think we're gonna be fine with the talent around it. Because even if you say the linebackers are the weaknesses, right? You still got like elite front seven, elite, secondary. So how good do they really have to be? How good do they really got to be?
All right, I gotta make the Eagles sound when I flap. All right, I'm in OTAs right now, so I'm just getting the playbook. And I'm gonna take the playbook home and I'm gonna study it. And when training camp start, I'm gonna be ready for training camp because I'm getting that starting spot. Because I'm you think Nolan Smith is hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry out here. Stomach growling. Don't get it twisted.
If you had to pick a weakness on offense, though, if we didn't talk about that, what would you say it would be? Are you going to right guard spot? Are you going to number two tight end?
I ain't even worried about the fact that we don't have a right guard named right now. Just the candidates that we have for right guard make me rest easy. So if I don't think there are any weaknesses, if you put a gun to my head, I guess that was a good one right there, Richie Rich. If you had to put a gun to my head, I would probably, yeah, that was a good one. I don't think I can get around wide receiver 3. That might be a good one. Wide receiver 3. I was going to say but that trumps what I was going to say. I was going to say the biggest concern I have is the health of these two running backs that we're bringing in, that we expect to be big parts of this offense, and that's Swift and Penny. They are, they have some injury history. So I would be a little concerned about that, but I think that wide receiver 3 kind of trumps that concern about the injury, because we do need a solid wide receiver 3. I'll give it to you. I hope Quez does turn into that receiver that we hope he can be. He has still been a big contributor to the offense, because you pointed this out to me, BG. His speed, it does change the way the offense the defense has to face our offense. So him just having the speed and that threat of speed kind of opens it up for our receivers. But when he's not dependable, then they're not as scared. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if you don't hit the 3, then we don't have to play the 3. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not going to catch it, we don't have to give you special attention. So we need not only to have the speed, but to be dependable when he does garner attention out there.
If I was the Eagle, I'd go to him early and often, then like really, weigh how I use him from there on out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do it early, you hit on him early, it's just like the rest of the season, you don't even have to throw the ball that much. Every time he's on the field, they're going to worry about it. They're going to worry about it. They're going to worry about it.
Right.
So you don't even have to worry about, overworking them, but just do it early, often, real fast. Bam, bam. First 2 games of the season, like Quest got a 70-yard touchdown. You're like, what? Yes. So now you go.
Now they got to work.
4 or 5. Yep. Now they're going to, no matter what, you're taking the pressure off them for the rest of the season. So, if I was the Eagle, I'll do that smartly and do something like that. I love what Worley says. He says, we dropped our biggest weakness in the defense from last year. Last season, we left his ass in Arizona.
That's a good one. And we get a chance to go up there and get some revenge against him, man. And that team is a mess out there. They are a mess. They just got rid of their top receiver, which to me is almost like throwing in the towel. I mean, they weren't expected to have a good year anyway, but it's almost like, isn't this like you kind of concede the whole year, right? If you let go one of your best players and you're already, not that great, it's almost like you're conceding.
But to that point, it's like, if you think about it, how many games did Hawkins play the last couple of seasons? It ain't been that many, right? Yeah. So it's like you kind of can get rid of him, but you still got the same team. Zach Ertz is getting old. That's your lead tight end. So I don't know how confident you feel on Zach moving forward. But, they have some, more over there. They have some nice young guys that they picked up in draft that have to still earn their stripes. But, I don't know. I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan. I think they need to go out and get a new quarterback.
Yeah, I do too. I think
that ship just sunk. He is who he is, and the way he's been running the football, he's been getting hurt a lot too, a little bit. So, I don't know. We see. They might be able to bring the best out of him. Who knows what they do? I know they added Pascal over there. I don't know who else they picked up on the offseason in terms of receivers, but they might be going more toward the traditional. Like I said, it's how good is D-Hop really right now? How much does he have?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I disagree with Twisted Jigger. Gannon might not make a year in Arizona. I think that it's already built in that this is like a red shirt year for him. Like, I'm saying? Like, they know they don't have much out there. They know that this is not this was not a position. I mean, a situation where you just add a competent head coach and you turn them into a contender. That's not that situation out there. They know that they have more pieces that they need to get, and they don't have them right now. So I think I'm not going to say it's not a possibility, but for Gannon to lose his job in the first year, it would have to be a disaster. Yeah, atrocious. I mean, he could have a losing season and he still would have a job next year, because they know that this is a rebuild that they're going through. So they don't expect much from him this year, but he would have to it would have to be a disaster out there.
And they only won 4 games. That type of team.
And like, all right, even I think he would have to lose the locker room. If he lost the locker room, that would probably get him ushered out the door. But like a bad record, I don't think that's going to get him fired, not the first year.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Gannon, good luck to you too. But I'm ready to just pound on you. I just want to
Nah,
destroy
I
your
don't like that. I
defense.
don't like it. No good luck
Want to
to him. Nah. I miss
destroy
him
them.
the I miss him the worst. I'm sorry. I'm like,
You
yo,
know, but everybody's.
1-16.
What do
That's
you
what I'm
think, Joe?
hoping for.
Honestly, what's your honest opinion? If we never got rid of, if never Gannon never left, do you think he would still have been a weak spot on our defense this year, or do you think he would have learned? Because, like you said, you've seen the growth that Nick even made. You know, from year one to year two in terms of coaching. You know, with Shane and Nick in terms of the offense getting better. You know, you've seen the defense got better from year one to year two again. You know, regardless of how much we hate him, hello, we almost still, you know, talent wise, you know, had the sack record last year. You know, pressure wise, we have Pro Bowlers on defense all over the place. You can say the talents, the players did that themselves, but we still got those players, and we got some players that are a little bit better. So, how bad would he have really been with us this year? Because I was on the fence, like the grass might not be greener on the other side on defense. When you're talking about making a move like that, because you, even if it's only his first year as a defensive coordinator with us, you know, his second year he got a little bit better. Maybe his third year he could have all put it all together and actually had a good, you know, a good team. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So,
I don't know how much of that I'm gonna give to him improving as a coach. I mean, certainly there was an improvement from year one to year two as him under with that defense, but I'm under the impression, and you guys tell me if you don't disagree. I mean, if you don't agree, I'm okay with that. I'm under the perception that it was more the added talent that was given to him from year one to year two than his scheme, because his scheme really didn't change. He was just handed more talented players to play with. I mean, I think they gave him more tools in his toolbox from year one to year two than they gave even Nick on the offense from year one to year two.
oh yeah,
The
that's true.
major tool they gave Nick on the offense was AJ Brown. That was the major tool, and
Mm-hmm.
that coupled with the fact that Jalen Hurts really worked on his game. And don't get me wrong, when you add a top notch receiver to a quarterback's repertoire, it does improve their game vastly. We saw it with Josh Allen and
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Diggs coming to Buffalo. There's no coincidence that that's the year that Josh Allen went from being an average quarterback to a all pro quarterback when he got Diggs. Same way with AJ Brown. So that was a big major adjustment there. But they gave Gannon a lot of tools from year one to year two, and I dare say that those tools helped him more than his scheme did. You understand? I think that that his style of coaching, while I'm not going to totally dismiss it because he did some wonderful things, but you take away a Hassan Reddick, you take away, you take away Bradbury, you take away C.J. Gardner, you take away, you take away some of those pieces that he was given, and how great is this defense under that scheme? So I
But
think
we
the
all knew
jury's
that
out.
after year one that he needed more better players, and that's why I
Yeah,
said it might even got better. Because I think we have better players this year on defense. So if you
and
think
we'll
about
see. And
that,
I think we'll
you
see.
jump in 2 to 3. I know he's not
I,
here, so we can't really ever know this. But I'm just saying, year 2 to 3 with better players, you know, everybody in the same system again for another year, understanding the system better, playing in the system better, you know, understanding their role in the system. So you're not restarting a whole new system. You kind of continue picking it up. I don't know. I was, you know, I'm still waiting to see. I want to see what Josiah got. I think he will be better. He blitzes. He does a little bit more of what we want. At least that's what he says. I'm hoping that defense will be better. I'm just saying, like, you know, that was something that I thought was pretty big. I know he got a head coaching job, so it's not like, you know, we really could keep him. You know, he got an opportunity. You know, kudos to him for being going to go be a head coach. But at the same time, it's like you only played two. You only was a defense coordinator for 2 years. You know, in that third year, you know, who knows how good it with this roster that we have, who knows how good that defense would look. It was bad in certain areas that we didn't like in terms of like sitting back a little bit too much. But actually, you know, we put the most sacks we've ever had up with that defense too. You know what I'm saying? We kept opponents down. You know, our offense was explosive, so they get up on them quick, which we have the pass rushers to go do their thing. You know what I'm saying? We got a football game. But I did not like how teams were able to come back on us. You know, we could have had a lot more blowouts last year. We had a better defensive coordinator too as
you
well.
just made it. You just made a point for me. Like the offense
Yeah.
played key in the defense being able to be what they were. I mean, when when you got an offense that's jumping out on teams early, which we did from the beginning of the season last year, and you've got the defense, when you've got the offense on the other team regulated to almost being one-dimensional because they're playing catch-up, you know what I'm saying? That plays right into their hands. When a defense can turn an offense into a one-dimensional offense, it's easier. It's easy pickings. When you've got to play catch-up and 70% of these plays are going to be passed, you can pin your ears back and go after the quarterback. Not that he's done it a lot in blitzing, but they know the down the situation so they can go after the quarterback. I'm still not sold on Gannon. He'll have to prove it to me. We got a new defensive coordinator coming in this year. I like to see. And another thing that, to my point, is some of the players on defense weren't always exactly on the same in agreement with Gannon's style. And
That's
those
fair.
were some of his star players. So I just add up the summation of all that information. I say that I don't know if he's as good as his record or his stats proved to be. I think he was a beneficiary of having some very good players on that defensive unit and having an offense to add to that.
What about Shane going over to San Diego? You think he's going to be a good head coach? Do you think that Brad Johnson is going to be seamless transition?
I'm hoping that that's the case, but I like Shane. I give Shane a little bit more credit because we saw him be responsible for this offense turning into an explosive offense. We saw last year when Sirianni called the plays and how this offense ran, and then we saw how this offense became explosive once Shane Steichen took over the play calling, and then it took another step last year when he had the play calling duties for the entire year. So I give him a lot more credit on being a catalyst for our offense being the way it was as the offensive coordinator and the offensive play caller than I give Gannon on the defensive side of the ball. Steichen, the proof is in the pudding. He's the man. And now I'm hoping that Johnson can that'll be a seamless transition, from Steichen to Johnson. But that's the jury's out on that too. That's going to be one of the biggest question marks we have. But we all feel confident that it may happen. We just assume, right? We're just assuming. But I think it's a good chance that it may happen.
I assume it just because at the end of the day, it's still Nick's offense. I feel like that,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So, you're coming in, you're going to put your own wrinkles on it. You might see a little bit more of something else. But you hear the players already talk about, it's kind of the same. We're just going on, bringing it to that next level, executing, what we already know and, adding in a couple new wrinkles. So, yeah, I think it could be the same. Maybe you see a different, more style, maybe a little bit more run than pass or a little bit more pass than run, or maybe a little bit more screen game. I would like to see him use a fullback this year on some plays too as well. I'm saying? I would love to see that happen too. Maybe even use like a Swift with a Penny as your fullback type, situation and run some option that way as well. Because I think the option game is going to get opened up a little bit more. I think we've seen from year 1 to year 2 of Nick that option game got a little bit more open and wide a little bit, especially with the quarterback sneak, the option off the quarterback sneak, doing little things off of that. I think there's going to be some more options in there that we're going to be able to really take advantage of this year with the talent we have on offense. So, yeah, I think Brad Johnson.
I don't want to jinx us, but we taking for granted that. Of course, you're right. The offense is going to be Nick's offense. That's going nowhere. The playbook is probably going to be, primarily the same, right? But the biggest question, I just talked about it not too long ago. The biggest question is, can Brian Johnson play call a game? You know what I'm saying? We saw Nick Sirianni take a stab at it when he first got here, and he himself admitted that wasn't his strong suit. He can probably do, serve the team better as focusing on being a head coach to the whole team than having to worry about the play calling duties. So he relinquished them. And Steichen, as we can see, was a great play caller. Now we're hoping that Brian Johnson can take that same offense and develop a flow like Steichen, where it's very effective, because it's not an easy thing if you never call plays. And I'm not sure off the top of my head. I can't think of if Brian Johnson has been a play caller in this league or even on the college level before. I can't recall. But that's something that's going to be big coming up. Can he call a game?
I think it's going to help him out a little bit because you know Jalen for so long. I think that's a little bit. You can go deeper into. You can remember high school plays you seen with Jalen. You know what I'm saying? That like, oh, remember you killed it back then. You can go to college. You know, I'm not saying that Steichen didn't do it, but you actually know this guy was watching Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
at an early age, you know everything about the guy. I think he probably knows Jalen overall a little bit better than Steichen probably did. So you're able to play with that a little bit more. You know, the whole time you've been like, oh, it'd be nice if you did this. If you did this, we could try this now. You know what I'm saying? Like some different things that maybe that Steichen wouldn't have thought of because he didn't see him in high school do it, or he didn't see him, at the college level do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it could be. It's gonna be a great offense regardless. But I do feel like this year, I feel like the offense is gonna lead the way. I think the offense is gonna be a little bit more dominating than the defense. They're both gonna be great as obviously could be a good overall team in a whole. But I think the offense is gonna be the year you see Jalen take that next step. 4,000-yard passing, MVP candidate, if not like I said, winning the MVP. And it's gonna be really like the Jalen Hurts season, where it's like, okay, I stamped it. I got the bag. I showed you I'm a winner. You watched me in the Super Bowl, do that thing, and now it's time for me to win that MVP.
All right, I'm with that. Hurts, hurts, hurts. It's still all about Hurts, man. Even after the year he had last year, and that year was going into the year, I thought that Hurts was the catalyst for whether that team was going to have a good year, and he was. He definitely was, and he took the leap that we needed to see him take for us to have that year, not only a successful year, but a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
And if we're going to go back, if we're going to dub this season unfinished business, it still rests on Hurts' shoulder. He's still going to be a main reason why we go back to the Super Bowl. So yeah, Hurts is appropriate going into next year. He's still going to have to be as dynamic as he was the year before, and hopefully even better than that. Oh,
Thanks.
okay. So they said Brian Johnson was a play caller for Florida. All right, so that makes me feel more at ease with him coming into this year with the history he has with Hurts. Yeah, but he has that experience under his belt. Whereas we know that Sirianni didn't have great experience at calling the game because he was coaching under Frank Reich. Frank Reich called the plays when he was coaching. So we got a taste of what he could do at the beginning of not last year, the year before his first year. And we found out that wasn't his strong suit. And I'm glad that he's the kind of coach that, ego doesn't get in the way. And he quickly relinquished that duty to Steichen, and the rest is history. So I'm glad that's another reason why I love Sirianni as coach, man, is he doesn't let his ego get caught up or anything like that. He is definitely a guy who has the mentality of whatever is best for this team, that's what he's going to do. And he's not afraid to do it, not afraid to say it or any of that. So, man, look, I'm like T.O., that's my coach, man.
That's my
That's
coach.
my coach.
I'm my
That's
coach.
my coach. I love the guy. I love
Cal Trask threw for 4,283 yards and 43 touchdowns, and the Gators ranked number 1 and in the BCS in passing offense and number 9 in total offense with over 500 yards per game under Johnson.
All right, we
Woo!
need Clarence Warren. We need an intern like Clarence Warren on our staff, man.
Right?
Usually in the industry, they have interns. We don't have that budget here. So the interns pull up those facts, but we got Clarence Warren. We thank you, Clarence, for going to get us the facts that we need to make the show better, man. Thank you.
For us, man. That's what I love about the chat. We could go try to find somebody to do that, but I'd rather you guys interact in the show anyway. Help us out. I know Grant Gazier, he's been watching the show for a long time. He always has all the stats and all the facts for us, dropping them in the chat too as well. So, yeah, man, this show's from all of you guys, man. We do this for you guys, and I'm glad you guys participate in it. It's funner when you guys participate. We can run out of, I ran out of topics like 10, 20, 15 minutes ago, and we still talking. You know what I'm saying? I ain't popped up no new pictures that I want to talk about. We still going because you guys in the chat keep us live and keep us going. So, salute to all you guys, man. Make sure you guys hit that like and go subscribe over to Eagles Talk over there. You know what I'm saying? Him and his co-host do a great job. Dark Knight and those guys do a great job over there. So make sure you go hit that subscribe button over there. His link is in the chat. So any other final thoughts about this Eagles team?
I also echo the value of you guys in the chats. On my show, I refer to you as our our fourth co-host in the room, because you guys, like he said, you guys provide us. I often look at, well, you know, my show is based on the chat. I you know, I talk to you guys. I include you guys in the conversation. So you guys are like the third, fourth co-host, and we appreciate you immensely. We appreciate you. But yeah, like you said, go down, check us out. We come on. I'm Eagles Talk. We come on Thursday, 7 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook. Go to the page, subscribe, like, and if you're a drinker, you'll love us even more because we do shots on the air. So we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. BG always talking about coming on, but every time I reach out to him, he do like 50 shows a day.
Thursdays,
So,
just I usually work on Thursdays. That's what I'm gonna find this week. We just got our work schedule. I'm gonna find what week this week. I know I'm gonna work on Thursdays, majority of the week. I'm gonna find
and
which
if he
day
don't work, he works on here. He's on here like he's 7 days a week. He's on 6 days out of the 7.
I'm trying.
The only day he's not
I'm
on.
in off-season mode too right now. You know, I haven't been pumping out as much as I should. You know, I've been dropping a couple of videos here, a little short here or there. You know, a couple of questions here or there. But I'm ready to crank it up. I'm trying to get crunk back up for the season. So once the season hit, we can be 7 days a week, baby. Nothing but the hottest Eagle stuff coming your way.
I feel you, and I'm here every time. Every time you reach out, anybody available? Yes,
always,
I'm available.
Man, that's what I love about you. Every time I reach out, you're like, I'm down. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
What Eagles? Yo, I gotta go. I was at a cookout. Now this Memorial Day weekend. How many of you guys were at a cookout? I was at a cookout. Like I gotta go. I gotta go jump on this live with my man. I'll see y'all later. Ooh. Give me a rib though. Give me a rib.
Hey, y'all go on Twitter. We made some fire baby back ribs tonight. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I gotta work a double tomorrow, so we did our little barbecue thing today, man. And I love cooking too. Like I probably like, you know, podcasting, cooking, like they're neck and neck. They're pretty both up there a lot. I love podcasting, but I love cooking. I love my Eagles, but I love cooking and food and whatnot. So, you know, if you guys checked it out on Facebook or on Twitter or wherever else, Instagram, I post a bunch of that. TikTok, you know, a lot of food came today. You know what I'm saying? Looking really good out there. So make sure you guys check that out. He goes, yeah, Eagles Talk right there. There is his link. Go make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know, you won't be let down, that's for sure. You know, ever since I worked with him one time, I've been waiting. I love working with him all the time. That's why I told him we're going to continue this. You know, this was the State of the Eagles Part 2. We're going to come with 3 and 4 all the way up into the season. We might change the name. We might not. Might even get a fancy intro. We'll see what happens here. So, but much love to all you guys. Like I said at the end of my videos, fly, Eagles, fly. Dante, what you said at the end of your videos?
I say, till next time, for
we
Eagles.
Peace.